Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the incredibly intense world of threads of destiny. It turns out, Hathor's quest for royal destiny is far more than just your average fairy tale. It is an absolute masterclass in high-stakes political survival. We're going to see exactly how a hopeful, wide-eyed village girl manages to navigate the treacherous waters of the Pharaoh's court without completely losing herself in the process.
To really get a feel for what Hathor is walking into here, listen to this chilling warning from Isis, an older, highly manipulative noblewoman inside the royal court. She says, "The palace is a place of whispers and shadows, where nothing is ever what it seems." The harem, as it turns out, isn't some place of luxury and leisure. It's a cutthroat psychological battlefield where a single misstep can cost you absolutely everything.
So that brings us right to the absolute core question of our analysis today. How exactly does a village girl survive a royal battlefield? The competition for the Pharaoh's favor is fierce, and naive recruits just do not last long. Hathor isn't relying on her stunning looks alone. She's bringing a brilliant strategic mind, fierce loyalty, and honestly, having the literal favor of the gods doesn't hurt either. Let's trace exactly where this legendary quest begins.
Section 1. A Promise to the Village. We absolutely have to start with the foundational motivation that drives Hathor's entire journey. When Hathor leaves her home, she isn't just packing her bags, she is carrying a massive burden of expectation. Upon her departure, she's given a small stone cat of the goddess Bastet. Now, this isn't just some protective little trinket. It represents a solemn, binding promise she made to her people. You know what it's like to carry the weight of expectations, right? Well, for Hathor, this vow to make her village proud becomes the absolute anchor for every single political and personal move she makes going forward. Her actual physical journey to the palace is a literal trial by fire. Let's map this out real quick. On day 1, she's leaving the Ituru Hedge River, embarking on a totally unknown path. By day 7, things go sideways. The caravan is caught in a blinding, brutal desert sandstorm. But instead of panicking, Hathor steps up. She takes command alongside her childhood friend Nephthys, securing the other women and proving her leadership chops super early on. By the time they enter the grand city of Merita-Sesh on day 30, Hathor is already battle-tested.
But, earthly skills are only half the battle here. That brings us to Section 2, Omens of the Gods.
Throughout the source material, Hathor actually receives these wild visions and visits from 4 specific deities, and every single one imparts a distinct strategic lesson she has to apply to survive. First, Bastet appears to offer protection, reminding her she's never alone. Second, a falcon representing Horus swoops in, granting a blessing of power and divine favor. Third, Min, the god of agriculture, appears right in the palace gardens to teach her that unity within the harem is her true strength. And finally, Ra, the sun god, offers the ultimate lesson in leadership.
Ra specifically commands her to lead with strength and compassion. Now, this is a massive turning point. Instead of hardening into a ruthless, backstabbing competitor like a lot of the others, Hathor really takes Ra's mandate to heart. And here is a huge takeaway for us. She uses compassion to foster a sisterhood, completely transforming potential bitter rivals into fiercely loyal allies. So now that she has the literal gods on her side, let's take a look at the reality of the world she's stepping into. Section 3. The Gilded Cage. When she finally arrives in the grand city of Merita-Sesh, she gets a harsh reality check from the eunuch, Senbi. He explains that the harem is this incredibly delicate ecosystem of advisors, influencers, and power brokers. The women here are not just companions to the pharaoh. They are dangerous, highly intelligent political players, and their actions have severe consequences for the entire kingdom. Hathor figures out real quick that she isn't just a companion, she's entering a multi-dimensional game of chess. And man, the competition in there is incredibly intense. Take a look at this rivalry. We have Hathor's fiery ambition and intellectual drive directly clashing against a woman named Anukhemis. Anukhemis commands the marketplace with this raw, primal, captivating sensuality through a mesmerizing dance. When Hathor watches Anukhemis, she knows instantly that relying on physical allure alone isn't going to win the pharaoh. She has to leverage her sharp intellect and her unique divine favor. To survive this kind of pressure cooker, Hathor relies on the absolute most crucial personal bond in her arsenal. Section 4, Fire, Ice, and Sisterhood. There's this brilliant fire and ice dynamic between Hathor and her closest companion, Nephthys. Hathor is impulsive, vibrant. She's the passionate little flame. Nephthys, on the other hand, is completely reserved, calculating, and strategic. She's the cool water. They balance each other out perfectly. Where Hathor brings energy and passion, Nephthys brings cool, detached strategy. Together, their differences make them an absolutely formidable pair in the court.
This incredible bond is forged in a secret oasis away from all the prying eyes of the court, specifically out at the royal pool. Here, they share these deeply intimate moments that go way beyond just friendship. This intense physical and emotional connection reinforces their unyielding loyalty to one another. In a palace practically built on backstabbing, they completely trust each other. It's such a great reminder of how vital it is to have a safe harbor and a loyal ally when you are navigating a toxic environment. And honestly, they are going to need every ounce of that absolute trust, because the palace is just full of dark corners. Section 5. Shadows of the Harem.
Remember Isis? The one who warned us about the whispers and shadows? Well, she is the literal definition of manipulation. In this chilling late-night visit to Hathor's chambers, Isis drops honeyed venom, trying to plant seeds of doubt about the loyalty of the other recruits. She's actively trying to isolate Hathor psychologically, which just proves that the harem is a battlefield where words are just as deadly as blades.
Lines are drawn in the sand incredibly fast. On one side, we have our first faction, Hathor and Nephthys, pushing for unity among the women and supporting the Pharaoh's progressive initiatives. But lurking in the shadows, Nephthys discovers our second faction, Isis and the traditionalist advisor Merita-Sesh. They are actively plotting to discredit Hathor and sow discord, all to stop the Pharaoh's reforms dead in their tracks. But Hathor and Nephthys, they don't just sit back and take it. They go right on the offensive with a brilliant three-step counter strategy. Step 1, they hold private gatherings under the guise of sisterly bonding. Step 2, they build a rock-solid network of trust that ISIS simply cannot infiltrate. And Step 3, they discreetly use the palace's own surveillance and lighting systems to gather intelligence right back on their enemies. They literally weaponize their own sisterhood to outmaneuver the traditionalists. It is a complete masterstroke of defensive politics. Which brings us to the breathtaking conclusion of our explainer. Hathor has survived the grueling journey, won the favor of the gods, built an impenetrable sisterhood, and brilliantly outsmarted her political rivals. But the source material leaves us hanging with a massive, provocative twist. With the gods on her side and a literal kingdom at stake, will Hathor win the pharaoh's heart, or has the royal tutor, Djoser, already claimed hers? That stunning, romantic revelation at the very end changes everything we thought we knew about her ultimate endgame. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope this leaves you as deeply fascinated by Hathor's quest for royal destiny as I am.